Coming up, hundreds from around the country fill Mingo County to honor a trooper killed in the line of duty.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. The funeral for West Virginia State Trooper Sergeant Corey Maynard brought hundreds of supporters to mourn the loss of a family man with a heart for his home. WYMT's Buddy Forbes was in Mingo County, where first responders lined up to say goodbye as community support lined the streets.
Sergeant Corey Maynard has taken his final patrol through the area he served for 15 years.
You know, it's just tragic when you hear something like this because it's completely unnecessary. And I know there's a lot of bad things going on. I mean, in a small community like this, you know, you don't always see or hear it. And so when you do, it does really hit home.
The West Virginia State Trooper was shot and killed in the line of duty Friday.
It's just like we say, all gave some and some gave all, and Sergeant Corey gave all for his community, and we are greatly appreciative and deeply saddened by that.
Bringing visitors from all around the nation to Mingo County to pay their respects.
When you have something like this happen, you have some of the best come out and show their support.
With balloons, flowers, and signs lining the roadways, the 37-year-old hometown hero took his last trip through the country roads.
I think at times like this, we really understand the sacrifice that they're giving when they leave their homes in the morning. You know, they don't know what they're going to face. And so because they do, we can stay at home and feel safer at night, and I'm grateful for that.
Leaving those Maynard died to protect, saying, when tragedy like this hits home, you can either shut down or show up.
They are heroes of the day. No matter what, the bad guy's never going to win, and we just love and support them, and we wanted to bring out as many people as we could.
And for his service and ultimate sacrifice, Maynard will always be on their minds and forever in their memories. In Mingo County, West Virginia, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Sergeant Maynard was expected to be cremated following the services, but since he was a tissue donor, he will forever live on, not only in memories and his legacy, but through those his gift of life has blessed. We're following some breaking news out of Bell County tonight. Officials with Bell County Dispatch confirmed deputies are looking for a man following a domestic violence incident. They say shortly after 10 p.m., a 15-year-old called police saying her dad was strangling her mom. When deputies arrived, they say the man grabbed a shotgun and ran out of the house. The incident happened on Pillen Road in the Page community. Officials are asking everyone in that area to stay indoors. We will update this story when more information is available on our website. After more than 30 years, the TBI has now identified a man who was shot and killed in Claiborne County, Tennessee. Officials say the skeletal remains were found by hunters back in August of 1986 on a trail in the Caney Valley area. It was eventually ruled a homicide from a shooting, but investigators were not able to identify the victim. Back in December, the TBI submitted a sample to a private lab out of Texas for DNA testing, which led investigators to possible relatives of the victim. After speaking with family, officials identified the remains as Jerry Harrison from Arkansas. TBI officials are asking anyone with information about Harrison or the shooting to give them a call. A clash at a trans rights rally in Corbin over the weekend went viral on social media. A group protested downtown against Senate Bill 150. It includes a ban on health care for trans children. Lucy Bryson talked with protesters tonight. They say the men who confronted them were armed and dangerous.
It's time for this town to stand together and say that it's not right anymore, that this is not right.
On Saturday, a protest was held against Senate Bill 150, which bans health care for trans youth in downtown Corbin.
I didn't expect guns to be pulled. I didn't expect men to get so upset they want to show off KKK cards and be prideful in being racist and homophobic degenerates who just want to hate each other.
The protesters shared with me that they were on this sidewalk outside of Sanders Park on Saturday when two men who they believed to have been armed and dangerous approached them. Organizer Trent Osborne remembers vividly what happened.
Later in the protests at around 3 o'clock, 2 gentlemen pulled over and parked just down here in front of this van and approached us as we were all sitting inside of the park.
Osborne says that the men were yelling homophobic slurs and even threatening to kill members of the group.
And he was the one who actually pulled the KKK card out of his pocket and handed it to his buddy, and they started flaunting it and putting it in our faces, openly admitting that they were members of the KKK.
After taking the matter to social media, the video of the incident went viral, but the video has since been removed. Although the protest ended in a potentially dangerous way, the group is planning to hold more protests in the future.
Now, we reached out to the Corbin mayor. She says the group did not have a permit to be on the premises.
Fog already settling into parts of the mountains as we continue to watch what's left of our shower activity work on out of the region this evening. Here's the view from our Pikeville Medical Center camera at this hour. Upper 50s, we continue to see plenty of fog starting to move on over the city at this hour. Most of us are dry, but we have been watching a couple of downpours. You see those working through parts of Perry County, parts of Knott and Letcher County. Still a couple into parts of Letcher and Harlan County, already falling into the upper 50s in parts of the Kentucky River and Big Sandy valleys. Others hanging in there in the low 60s. Your forecast first, heading into the morning hours. Make sure you leave a little extra time to get where you need to go, because I do think we'll be dealing with some foggy conditions in the morning. That's what you see here. Low to middle 50s as we start things off. A beautiful day on the way for Thursday. The very latest on that here in just a second. Steve?
All right, Evan, thank you. What is happening with the money collected for tornado and flood survivors? That was the question on the minds of several Kentucky lawmakers today. Tens of millions of dollars was collected in the Team Western Kentucky Fund and the Team Eastern Kentucky Fund to help tornado and flood survivors. We know some of the money was used to pay funeral costs, but today lawmakers wanted to know where else that money is going. Grayson Passmore listened in on the meeting to find out how the funds are being distributed.
Wednesday morning, legislators questioned how private donations to the Western and Eastern Kentucky Relief Funds were getting into the hands of the affected individuals.
We're talking about monies that were donated out of the goodness of people's hearts, kindness, following the tornado disaster in December of 2021 and then the floods in the spring of last year.
DJ Wasson and Jacob Walburn represent the Public Protection Cabinet, the agency tasked with handling and dispersing the millions of dollars collectively raised following both disasters. Under Senate Bill 99, passed this year, they're required to present this report to a research committee annually. And these legislators have questions.
There were 35 families. You're shaking your head like you know this.
I spoke with USA Cares, and
they didn't receive a dime, and they still to this day don't know why. They said they were given the complete runaround from you guys.
I mean, I would respectfully disagree. We did speak with them. In the Eastern Kentucky Flood Relief Fund, we have some pretty limited funds with a lot of needs.
According to the Team Kentucky website, to date, $13.2 million have been raised in flood relief and $52.3 million in tornado relief. Wasson says from both funds, the first expenses taken care of were funeral costs. Then they prioritized the fund distribution based on housing needs.
I would candidly tell you, I don't think we've been approached by a program that we haven't been able to support. We found a way to work with everybody who's attempted to approach us to get money.
In Frankfort, Grayson Passmore, WYMT Mountain News.
Those with the Public Protection Cabinet say people can apply for assistance, then the agency verifies their claims through FEMA and/or their insurance companies. Some legislators say they still have people approach them who say they have never received any assistance. A group of missionaries from Perry, Ohio traveled to Perry County, Kentucky, looking to help build a home for a woman who lost hers in the July 2022 flood. The woman has been without a home for more than 10 months now, and she's finally getting a new place to live. Organizer Kathy Kreitz says it's been a good experience for the woman during the process.
Just has been a real good experience. The people are wonderful here. Everyone we're working with even the people in the home are so, she's just so humble. And it's so nice to come in and help those kind of people that are just in need but humble about it.
Cricht says the group comes from different backgrounds, all serving the same purpose of helping others. An Eastern Kentucky lawyer is being recognized for the volunteer work he's done in the courtroom for the past 9 years. And as WYNT's Keaton Hall shows us, his work is not over yet.
For 9 years now, Ned Pillersdorf has worked to represent the victims of a Social Security disability fraud perpetrated by attorney Eric C. Kahn.
We have represented former Kahn clients in more than 2,000 hearings, 250 federal court cases, and we've been largely successful. Thousands of former Kahn clients who lost their benefits, we've been able to get them back.
Pillersdorf has represented all of these clients for free. Now he's being recognized for his work by the American Bar Association.
The way I look at it, if you're on the playground and you see a bully beating up on a vulnerable person, what do? You know, I've got a law license, and my fellow volunteers, we have law licenses. We can fight for these people.
The ABA Pro Bono Publico Award is a prestigious national award that's given to lawyers who volunteer their services to disadvantaged people. But Pillersdorf doesn't take the credit for himself.
You know, I'm scared to say, where would we be without all of these wonderful lawyers swarming in from all over the country to represent our vulnerable neighbors who, in my view, have been under very unfair attack.
Through Pillersdorf's massive team effort, hundreds of Kahn's former clients have had their benefits reinstated. But Pillersdorf says his work isn't done.
I've done 15 hearings this month. I did 3 yesterday. It's certainly not over, but we will fight them till the end of the earth on behalf of our vulnerable neighbors.
Pillersdorf says he's the first person from Kentucky to win the award. In Prestonsburg, Keaton Hall, WYMT Mountain News.
While fighting the Social Security Administration, officials say Pillersdorf has created the largest network of volunteer lawyers and law students in American history. Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron says he is working to protect Kentucky's senior citizens. June is World Elder Awareness or Elder Abuse Month, and Cameron says elder abuse can take many forms, including financial exploitation, neglect, and poor living conditions. The FBI says Kentucky seniors lost $30 million to scammers, but only 1 out of every 44 senior scam victims actually report their case. There are several senior scam awareness events happening across the state this month, including one in Corbin at the Corbin Senior Citizen Center. You can find more information about this on our website, WYMT.com. Coming up on Mountain News at 11, millions of Americans were urged to stay indoors today as smoke from Canadian wildfires drifted south and east.
And we're getting much, much nicer as we head for the second half of this week. I'm tracking all the latest after this.